everyone. Happy Thursday. Back to just various warm-up / taking care of your body things with Coach Kara. We're going to do some different stuff today than we've done the last couple weeks. You are going to need a full water bottle, preferably like only 32 ounces. Don't have like your 64-ounce water bottle, just like something like a full Nalgene. And if you do not have a foam roller, grab a pillow or a cushion, just something that we'll use to like support our knee at a point in time. I've been an athlete for a long time and love foam rollers, so I have one of my very own. But I also brought a pillow, brought my sleeping machine cat pillow to show people what that might look like with a pillow rather than a foam roller, but we'll get to that later. I just wanted to give you time to like grab those couple things. And then we are going to start with 2 minutes of 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off core, just to wake our core up a little bit. Plus the last couple weeks, I've always underestimated the amount of time that this would take, and we've never gotten to a little bit of core, so nothing crazy. We're just gonna start with a little bit of dying bug, 45 seconds on and 15 seconds off. So we will start dying bug here, keeping our low back pressed into the ground if we can. I have to kind of like lift my head off the ground to feel like my low back is pressing into the ground. Just making sure your core is tight the whole time. If you call this dead bug, it's the same thing. That is 45 seconds. The last little bit of core we're going to do is called a suitcase crunch, and it's kind of like baby step towards a V up. So you start down here, you come up to this like sculler position. We will start that here, just 45 seconds. Making sure you're not just like letting your legs fall to the ground. More seconds. Last one here. And that is just our quick 2 minutes of core activation, getting our core warmed up. And now we're going to move into more of like a shoulder, upper body warm up before you would start a workout, hopefully. This first one, if it is like too weird or like difficult for you, there are other options, but I'm going to demonstrate this first. You're going to be in your plank position, rock up to a downward dog, reach your opposite hand to opposite foot, come back to down dog, back to plank, and down dog, opposite arm to foot. So just kind of rocking back and forth, using our shoulders. So this is option one. You can just do like 10 total, just rocking down dog to plank. Another option, if that is a little difficult for like balance, you can just do a walkout. You don't have to do a push-up, you could just go back. This is another great option for just kind of warming up your shoulders, pressing yourself back. of like this rocking back and forth option. Makes it so you really do have to like stabilize yourself, your whole body with your one shoulder. Or you could even just like rock to downward dog, back to plank. Plenty of ways to get your shoulders a little warmed up, a little more mobile. Once you've done 10 of whichever of those you decided to do, we are going to do something called a serratus punch. So if you have no idea what I'm talking about when I say serratus, which I didn't even know what that was until I'd been rowing for at least 4 years, that is a muscle that comes and like wraps around your ribs. I don't know anything about like insertion, origin, anything to do with that anatomy-wise, but I do know that the serratus is very much in control of shoulder stability and like your scap moving. So we've done scap push-ups where you are in this position and you're just moving your shoulders. Serratus is very much a part of that, when you're like, especially when you're pressing back up. But your serratus kind of wraps from your scap to attach in your ribs. So very active during the rowing stroke, but often overlooked. And we are going to do something called the serratus punch, which just activates it, isolates it much more than I think a scap push-up does, but either one is good. So with the serratus punch, you'll need your water bottle. You're gonna lay on the ground like this, feet up, and just one arm at a time. It's the same sort of motion as the scap push-up where you're like pushing through and letting your shoulder blades fall, but you're just pressing your hand up to the ceiling, letting it fall back down. You're not rolling. It's coming strictly from the shoulder. We'll just do 10 of those on each side. If you didn't have time to grab a water bottle or any sort of little weight, you can also just practice this movement, or you can do scapula push-ups. Move to the other side now. It's not a huge motion, but it's the same way I think of doing a scap push-up. Just looks like there's more happening, because when you're in that push-up position, your whole body is moving. In this position, it's just your hand getting closer to the ceiling. Okay. That was 10 on each side for me. You're not going to feel much, just maybe like a little bit of like pressure along your ribs. That's like you using your serratus to press your hand toward the ceiling. But that is all I have for shoulders and serratus. We're gonna move into where you will need, if you have a foam roller, if you brought a pillow, you need the pillow for this, but we're gonna move into a little bit of focus on what we call the QL, which stands for quadratus lumborum. That is why we don't say quadratus lumborum. It is a mouthful. We just say QL. But it is also a very important piece of rowing, and it is often overlooked as well. That is like part of your deepest core, and it's kind of your low back. It runs from the top of your pelvis, your hips, to your lowest rib. So it's like deep in here in the side of my low back. So if you've ever felt like one leg is longer than the other, or like your shoulders are crooked, it might be one of your QLs is tighter than the other, and you are just thinking it is something else. So, especially if you specialize in one side of sweep rowing, I would think that your inside QL would probably be tighter because you're just usually compressing down to that side. So, important thing to focus on is your QL on either side. We are going to work on activating it a little bit. So this is what it will look like if I'm gonna face this way just so you can see what's happening. Sorry. But you're gonna lay on your back. If you have a roller, you're sticking the roller running like from your knees down to your feet, like this. If you do not have a foam roller, you have a pillow, fold the pillow in half, do the same thing, making sure that you have something to squeeze between your knees. And what we are doing here is just a windshield wiper. So you are squeezing your knees together and letting your legs fall to the side, and then you are pulling your legs up with your side body, so with your QL, with your obliques. Trying to minimize the effort that your arms are putting into this, so making your core work to get your legs up and then back down, controlling the motion down. We'll just do about 10 total, making sure the whole time you are squeezing your knees together. Trying to keep your shoulders both on the ground. If you can't get your knees all the way to the ground while still having your shoulders on the ground, go as far down as you can. I definitely feel my core working in this one. I think I've done definitely more than 10. So we'll stop there. But making sure while you're doing that the whole time, you're like trying to keep whatever support you have, like squeeze between your knees down to your ankles, and using your core to actually guide the motion. Then we're just gonna do one more thing, and it is essentially the same, but we are ditching the foam roller or the pillow, whatever it is you had, and making this a little more difficult. If the previous exercise was difficult enough and you just want to stick with that, you can do another 10 total of that exercise. But now we are going to be in the same position, but our legs are straight, trying to keep our legs together, feet together, doing the same windshield wiper. Really trying to use your core to bring your legs up and then back over. The straighter your legs are, the harder it would be, so you could always like have them bent here. I think that it's more beneficial to have something to squeeze between your knees if your legs are bent like this. I feel it more if I do have something to squeeze. Same thing, trying to keep your shoulders on the ground, trying to minimize the effort coming from your arms and shoulders, keeping the effort here in your core. And I think if you were to do that every day or every other day, you can even do it after you work out, just something to engage that deepest part of your core and actually get it a little activated and strengthened can be very beneficial for future you, present you. But just think about adding one or both of those last couple exercises to your daily routine. But that is all I have for you today. Have a good Thursday.